Dear Diary, it is 2 days since now I got home from the big swinger convention. So, if you don't know, I just got back from a multi day full hotel takeover. Lots of really awesome people partying, like they've got no responsibilities. It was amazing. You can get the information about that in the vlog from that event, and I will put a link in the description. But that's not what this episode is about. This episode is my honest confession on this weekend was wonderful. It was, but I had to learn some lessons about, my business, and things that I could have done differently. And it was my first official speaking gig as Toronto Unicorn. I've done some, informal ones, but this was where, like, I was on the agenda. People, like, showed up expecting to see me, and so it was a really great opportunity. So, luckily, I here's the positives. Luckily, I did have a big promotional banner that you roll up and stand in front of, that said, Toronto Unicorn and whatnot. So I was proud of the fact that I had that presence. I did bring my Toronto Unicorn condoms, and I was able to give them out to the people who attended. So I had some promotional materials. So that's good. And I did have people who attended the workshop and made me feel comfortable being up there. But I did get nervous, and because I didn't have enough content to fill the hour. I already knew that before I started, but I was scheduled for an hour, and I wasn't getting very much audience interaction. Like, people were sitting and listening, but even when I tried to be like, so, like, any of you have a threesome, or like, have any of you had an experience, like, people like showed of hands, but like no one really wanted to talk. So it was just the Toronto Unicorn show, essentially, right? So I did my job, and I did my little, I had a handwritten note with my notes on it, right? Because I wanted to walk up there with something. And so I hit the highlights, I hit the stories, the lessons, whatever. And and then I felt like I ran out of content, and so I basically, like, thanked everybody for coming, and people started to get up from their chairs. Now, this is the part that I am embarrassed that I forgot, but I also just can't fucking believe I forgot, I forgot to end my presentation with a call to action to tell people, hey, did you know I have a YouTube channel? Some of these people sitting and listening to me talk might have never heard of me before, right? So here I am being like, here's my talk. I give good advice on swinger stuff. I tell lots of great stories, blah, blah, blah. But then I didn't say, like, hey, come to YouTube to find me. And it's just such an obvious miss, right? Like, I forgot to self promote. I literally just talked about what I knew about threesomes and, like, how to be, respect a woman's feelings and things like that. And then I forgot to be like, hey, if you want more advice about, something else, or, life, or getting your fantasy fulfilled and having to make sure it goes correctly, like, I offer those services. I even have a free PDF that people can download, which is like their lifestyle starter kit. You think I fucking mentioned that at my speech? No, I didn't. I cannot believe it. I guess I just missed that one. And it's embarrassing that I fucked that up. But it is what it is. But you think that like that'd be bad enough. But then I remember, like, I was getting interviews from the other workshop leaders, and I noticed they all had these tables set up with, like, their logo and, like, some informational packets and stuff. And I was, like, complimenting them, and I'm looking, and I turned to my boyfriend and I was like, why don't I have a table? And I remember I even packed my stuff for the table. I packed the tablecloth, which is just a black stretchy tablecloth. I packed my subscribe pillow, my penis pillows, my Toronto Unicorn pillows. I had my roll-up sign. I had my free condoms. I had enough to do a table. And I had the material, but it was in the other hotel, right? Like, remember, I was staying off site. If you don't know that, the main hotel was where the big party was, but they sold out of rooms. And so I had to go stay at another hotel and then travel to this one to party. So what that meant is I left some of the stuff in the first hotel. And if it was on site, I might have been more inclined to get it. So I remember saying to my boyfriend, why don't I have a table? Maybe I should ask for one, right? I mean, it probably isn't a problem. Like, why? And then I remember thinking, well, why didn't I get asked for one? So fast forward to today, and I'm looking at my email from the company that worked with me to set up the event, or it was their event. I was just a workshop leader kind of thing. But they did invite me to have a table. They said between, 6 and 8 on Saturday, we invite you to our vendor fair. It was written right there, and I missed it. Because in that same email, the sentence above was, you can send 200 of your, TorontoUnicorn brochures to the hotel by, like, 2 days from now. And I didn't even have one of those things ready. So I had to open Canva. I have to design a fucking brochure, and then I have to print it. So I guess I just focused on that, and I missed the line that said I was invited to a vendor fair. And so learning that today, literally 5 minutes before I started this episode, I'm like, it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing that I'm not more professional at this. I mean, I guess I just like, I think I wing it in life a lot, and I think I winged it on this event a bit, and I'm just a little frustrated with myself. Like, I didn't self-promote, okay? Then I didn't stand at a booth for 2 hours and talk to people who might have been interested in having a conversation with me. I literally missed the opportunity to connect with people, which is the whole point of me going and doing this. And I'm just like, but I could have just done it. Why didn't I just think to ask? But I didn't want to bother anyone, and I didn't see any extra tables because it was they had to set up the space to be that way. It never occurred to me, like, walking through them, to be like, "Yeah, maybe I should set up my own table." It was just like, "Why didn't I get one?" So, anyways, I feel like my workshop was good, but having said that, I also apparently had a red face halfway through. So, for anyone who doesn't know, this is like a personal part about me that a lot of people don't know. But I get like a red hot blotchy face when I'm angry, when I drink a lot of alcohol, things like that. I cannot hide the fact that adrenaline is pumping through my veins. And so it happens sometimes when I'm, in front of the camera too. And so when I have alcohol, my face can get really red and hot. And so you can see in some of the vlogs, like, it's, for me, it's hard to watch because I'm like, why can't I, why did my face have to do that to me? So, anyways, apparently my face got hot and red in the middle of my speech. And a guest, like one of the audience members, actually mentioned it after. He's like, "Yeah, I saw you got a bit red in the face. You must have been nervous." And I was like, "Yeah." And then my boyfriend, who was very supportive in there, he told me that, yeah, halfway through my face got a bit red. And so, anyways, I was feeling like a little frustrated that, I was embarrassed my face got red and hot. Okay. So, but then this is a true story, and this is what happened. I had just attended Anal 101 workshop with Ray. I think it's Sherskowski or something, but I will put a link to her stuff because I interviewed her in my vlog. So I'll put a link to the vlog so you can get her contact because it's in the description of the big vlog. But basically, she had just done an effective session where she talked about why do we have shame about these natural processes our bodies go through, especially with sex. It's like, oh, there's a bit of poop on the everyone's so embarrassed. But, like, realistically, like, if you really break that down, like, why? These are real natural bodily functions. And so, like she even said, like, if you squirt, it's fine, but if you pee a little bit, you're ashamed. And it's like, it's so true. Why do we do that? And so I had just left her session. I find out my face has been red, whatever, and mine. And I said to myself, and I did this even in front of a girl that I was friends with at the party. I said, what's interesting is I would normally be upset with my face, like upset that my face turned red. And I said, but I learned from Ray's session to, like, not have shame for how my body naturally operates. And I just remember thinking, like, oh, I can do that. I don't have to be embarrassed. I can just be like, well, that's my body. Like, that's what she does. And it's true. That's what she does. I've done that my whole life. I have been like that. Yeah, so it's interesting, but this is a really vulnerable diary episode. Like, the fact that I'm doing it at all is a bit surprising. I had a great time. Thank God everything else went so smoothly. It was just me who didn't kind of show up for myself the way I should have in my business. And yeah, I need to think through how serious I am as a businesswoman. And, like, the next time I get one of these events, I'm gonna have a vendor table. I'm gonna have, a certain promo to give away for that event. I'm going to do self promotion at the end of a workshop. Maybe I'll even do two different workshops, right? Get an opportunity to attract different audience, talk about different topics. So I will know what to do differently next time. And I think at the end of the day, if that's what I take from this, fine. But wow, like, it just, this was an opportunity for me to really show up and present as a brand. And I guess it's just going to take some practice. So, yeah. I guess. So not all my diary episodes have a video component, right? That's kind of the whole point. But the latest ones do, including this one, but it doesn't include my face because it's still like a secret diary confession. But the real reason is because I didn't want to do my makeup for you. And so you get to have this like different vibe, right? So you can watch this on Spotify. This is where you can open the episodes that have video and actually see video. Otherwise, it's always just audio. But yeah, so I'm just sitting here, reflecting on what I learned, having a little bit of embarrassment and shame, even though I'm negotiating with those feelings about how I presented as a brand. But I think I did good socially. I think I made a lot of friends. I had a very good time talking to people. But like, here's a really important thing to know about me. I am not an extrovert. I am a balance between introvert and extrovert. And if anything, my introvert side needs more catering too, right? And so I normally wouldn't go to a back to back to back party. I would do like one big party and then like sleep for the next day, like not go out or do anything. And I didn't have that opportunity this time. I was there Friday. We drove up to Niagara Falls. I was there all day Saturday, and then we left Sunday morning. But I did manage to squeak in a little nap at the hotel Saturday night before the festivities, which is ironically when I was supposed to have the vendor booth, but whatever. So maybe I did the right thing by having a nap. Maybe I would have been a grouchy bitch if I didn't. So maybe the vendor, see, that's also a new way of looking at it. That is literally another way of looking at this same experience of if I had done the vendor tabling, I would not have had the rest I needed to be my best self that night. So that's true. Interesting. Oh, you just saw me give myself therapy live. So, anyways, I'm a human. I make mistakes. I've got vulnerabilities. But other than that, I was so proud of the content. I was so happy with how I was able to showcase certain personalities in the lifestyle, some of the workshop leaders I interviewed, as well as some of the guests. No blurring, right? I'm not used to that. Normally, I've got to blur everyone's face. So overall, like this was a really wonderful weekend, but I also needed to have what I call a socializing hangover time. Like when I got home, I wanted to like not do much the next day. And like even the day after, which is today, I basically slept all day and like relaxed. Yeah. So it is important that I recover, which is a funny word for my heavy socializing, but that's how it goes for introverted people. So, yeah, so overall it was a really good vibe, and you'll have other episodes or other podcasts, not so much this one, where I talk in a much more detailed manner about what happened at this hotel takeover. So you'll be able to get that on Sex and Swinging probably. I haven't recorded it yet, but that's probably where it'll go. And so I'll talk the details about it there, but this is just the human side. This is the side of the real person showing up, with all the anticipation. And I had to be very careful not to film anything I wasn't allowed to film because there was absolutely no cameras allowed. And so I wasn't able to like shoot the crowd. I wasn't even able to shoot what the inside of the hotel looked like in the courtyard because we're not like, first of all, there was people in there, so I couldn't. But also, I'm not allowed to give away the name of the hotel. So it's just some of those things you're gonna have to keep in your imagination. But yeah, it was really cool, and I'm proud of the content I made. The video podcast is like 22 minutes, the whole story of this big swinger convention, and I'm really proud of it. And it's live now, so I'll make sure the link is there for you to click in the description. But yeah, it's behind the scenes, there's still like other stories, right? So I have been, in front of my fan page for years. I know how to take good quality photos. And one of those tips and tricks is good lighting. I packed my ring light. I packed extra lights. I was ready, right? But then It was really blistering cold, right? Going from the car, which we had to park really far away from the hotel for some reason. And we had forgotten the tripod for my ring light in the car. We had the ring light, but not the tripod, and it didn't attach to anything else. So I ended up doing some photos with the additional lighting I brought, but it wasn't enough, right? And so I'm looking at the quality of the photos and I was like, well, shit, like they're not clear. Like, they're not as clear as they could be. They are a little, like, low quality even, right? And I had so many different outfits on. We did end up fixing the problem for the second day, right? Like, we brought the tripod up and I was able to do some additional modeling content. So I did get some good content for my fan page, but that's only because I put on some more outfits and put the camera on twice. Because the first set of photos was, not the but I'm still gonna post them on my fan page with a message that, like, sorry, the lighting wasn't as good, because there's still some value in it. But it was just another part of the weekend where, my guy offered to go back into the cold to go get this tripod, and I was insistent that he not, because it was freezing cold. Okay, so to have ask somebody to go back outside for 10 minutes to go pick up a piece of metal and come back, I didn't feel good about. But did my quality of content suffer? Yes. And so I think for me, I need to learn that in those moments, if somebody is willing and offering to do that, hard task, I should say yes, because he did offer. And I just didn't want him to have to face that. Now, let's just say there's been a lot of lessons learned this weekend. And if I'm going to be a professional at this, I need to understand I have to sometimes ask things of people, even if I don't feel comfortable. So, I mean, that's on me now. If you like this style and you like this vulnerability, let me know. Like, leave a comment, say something relatable, make me feel like, there's growing pains and experiences with new business owners and whatnot. Make me feel a little less alone like that. I don't know. You can also get some extra content, including some modeling content from the Niagara Falls Hotel on my fan page. So that's going to be OnlyFans. And a few of the less explicit ones will be on my Patreon. So, anyways, thanks for listening, guys. Bye.